Holy moly, it's pretty.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so biophilic design,
Mm-hmm.
future of biophilic design.
Nice.
Largely driven by rural migration to cities and overall population growth, 68% of people worldwide will live in urban areas by 2050. By doing so, many will benefit from greater access to basic services, proximity to public transportation, and better education and employment opportunities. But the pursuit of living urbanized lives also leads to isolation from the outdoors, be it a forest, a meadow, or the mountains, that can negatively impact our physical and mental health.
Yeah,
Exposure to
meadows.
nature
Meadows.
has...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Как?
Meadows. Tipo
Right.
dolina. Mm-hmm. Tipo
Meadows.
meadow.
Exposure to nature has long been proven to reduce stress levels, boost mood, foster productivity, and above all, enhance well-being. So considering we typically spend around 93% of our time indoors, and that the pandemic has magnified that statistic, now more than ever we find ourselves seeking a connection with the outdoors and all its inherent benefits. Architects thus face the important challenge of bringing nature in, which is precisely where biophilic design comes into play. Whether it is a small balcony, access to green space, or a private garden, the outdoor space has become a privilege for many, especially upon the dawn of the COVID-19 pandemic and
Correct.
the multiple lockdown periods that followed. Green spaces in the city is constantly under threat, particularly since governments seek to increase housing densities in order to feed a growing demand for suburban development. As a result, the garden and access to green outdoor spaces has decreased in recent times as the priorities lie in housing as many as possible, often with disregard to beneficial features such as access to outdoor areas and residential developments. In
Yeah.
terms of living conditions, the lack of access to these spaces presents evident inequalities uncovered during periods of lockdown and restrictions during the pandemic. People were confined to their homes and local outdoor spaces where they could exercise. Those who had access to these public spaces and had their own gardens, external spaces, were very lucky in the sense that they were able to enjoy an element of the outside, while those less fortunate in flats and areas or deprived faced claustrophobic and demoralizing conditions contained within the shell of their homes.
Yeah. Deprived. Deprived.
Deprived, yeah.
No, as well. Mm-hmm.
Так, сейчас я тут... Так, это картинки какие-то. Ай. Ну да. And now I choose the building of Galleria for my biophilic design, and I would like to present how would it looked like if it was built in biophilic design. So I would like to start with one of the most important part of biophilic design. It's water.
Elements даже прикольно можно было бы сыграть. Типа элементы и одновременно типа стихии.
Elements. From playful indoor pools to tranquil interior fountains, to soaring waterfalls and grand lakes of enormous proportions, architecture throughout the centuries has engaged with water in endlessly innovative ways, sometimes serving aesthetic purposes, but just as often acting as centers of activity or promoting sustainability. Water features can take countless different forms and serve multiple different purposes. Water is the focus and also often the defining feature of a whole host of contemporary public spaces designed today. As well as being a decorative element in itself, bodies of water can provide valuable habitat for wildlife, create a cooler microclimate, and store excess rainfall during storms. It can also bring a playful element to more normal spaces and soften the effects of hard landscaping.
Nice.
So I would like to add two fountains near the building galleria, so it could help people. It would
That's a smart
to
idea. I like it.
yeah, this place would be engaged and people would be more closer to the nature. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, it's a big territory and it's heated because of the materials as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, look at the glasses. Like, there are a lot of excessive heat that is being concentrated in summer, and this could be a very nice, attractive feature. I would also suggest that there are some types of fountains for children that are on the level of ground, and you just have streams of water shooting out of some, like, little holes in the ground.
Yeah.
So that would also attract a lot of children which come to this building to also for recreation and trampoline center. Nice.
So the next element of biophilic design is plants.
Yay. My favorite.
Buildings that feature greenery and natural light do more than just look good. The green spaces prove beneficial to building occupants, and even the building itself stands to benefit. The research on how indoor greenery impacts employee health and productivity can't be refuted, and its positive effect continues to be seen. When plants are used on the walls and roofs of buildings, the results are positive too. Plants reduce energy usage, plants extend roof lives, plants moderate temperatures in hotspots, plants even can provide fresh vegetables for building occupants. Embus, a company that's been enhancing interior landscapes since 1963. It shows that presenteeism, when employees are physically at work but mentally checked out, is reduced merely by the presence of greenery in the office. Plants make indoor spaces healthier for the occupants, both in terms of physical and mental health. Having indoor plants in the office reduces indoor air pollutants 87% in 24 hours, overall stress by 60%, anxiety by 37%, anxiety, fatigue by 38%, headaches by 20%, and noise by up to 50%. So I don't know, maybe it would look like that. And also I'd like to add more trees around the building and maybe on the roof of the building. That would help to потреблять.
To reduce, можно сказать, понизить.
Absorb, maybe.
Yeah,
absorb.
To absorb, yes. Also to
sunlight
and
and rain, maybe. Okay. And,
I like it. It's so cool when you see the same scenery, but with some elements, and you can clearly see how it's going to be instead of imagining. I could imagine that every greenery could, make any building better. But this looks amazing. It's like so friendly and so attractive now. And you could have like a nice restaurant and like a whole forest on the roof of the building.
So the last but not the least is wood. Materials are very important in biophilic design because they provide coziness, maybe, and a good health. Although the term may seem recent, the concept of biophilia has been used for decades in architecture and design. The guiding principle is quite simple: connect people inside with nature to promote their well-being and quality of life. With all the ongoing design trends that have consolidated as a result, the demand has focused on organic materials that emulate outdoor environments. Among all the options, wood is one of the most popular materials to bring nature indoors, not only because of its functionality, but also due to its multiple physiological and psychological benefits. Based on studies carried out in Norway, Japan, Canada, and Austria, wood seems to have positive effects on the emotional state of people. Environments with wooden structures cause a drop in blood pressure and pulse and have a calming effect. But what factors in wood as a building material affect people? Wooden surfaces make a room feel warmer and cozier, and they also have a calming effect. So I would like that this building were some parts of building were made of the wood, and that would.
I would like some parts of the building to be made out of wood. I want you to help me. I want some parts of the building to. I would like some parts of the building. Это те же самые структуры.
I want some parts of the building be
to be made. I want you to understand. С want to идет, с make не идет.
Сейчас. I want some parts of the building wood to be made of wood. Вот так, да?
Wood только первый выкинь, он какой-то не в тему получился. Ты можешь вместо want поменять там на I would like, насколько я помню. I would like some parts of the building to be made out of wood. Excellent.
So, maybe not all. No, of course not all building, but maybe some parts. And by the way, I recently read articles about architecture, and it said that in the near future, it's the most popular material in architecture is a mass timber. It's like it's like a wood, but like a big,
large
big
pieces.
part. Yeah, very big part. Not like
mass, like a whole mass. I think that's the term for this.
And they like prognose. I don't know. Prognose that in the future it will be really popular material because it increase the amount of carbon and provide warmness and and it's very
luxury, I would say.
Luxury, yes.
Big question. I have some doubts about it because of the ecological questions, because the tree, to get the mass of mass timber, it should be like a very large tree, and there's hundreds and decades of years that you need to grow some trees. Like sequoia actually takes thousands of years to grow, and I'm not sure that the ecology is going to provide that. I was surprised to learn that actually the amount of fish that is being present in seas has decreased very, very, rapidly and radically. So soon we might not even have those, types of fish that we can afford today. So that's just an additional question for me. But yeah, definitely, I would love to have a mass of timber in my house or any other location, because it's so solid and it's like it gives you the feeling of luxury. The quality of timber is different. I love the tables that they do using one mass of timber and epoxy in between. So it's like a futuristic design. It's been popular for a while. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how you use the piece of grass under the lady's feet. She's walking on the grass. Good. Do you have any other slides, or are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Excellent, very good work. I'm so happy with the work you've done. It has the same style, even though you talk about Photoshop. I am not a visual art professional. That's why I do not see these things. I'm sure if you ask Valera, which is my friend, he's an interior designer, he would definitely see some more of little details, because that's his job. His eyes work much better. But from what I see as an investor probably, or maybe a user or some a regular person, it has a nice holistic style, like dark background, like some elements that are pretty cool in the background. The ideas were very cool. I think you brought main elements, and it's very clear for me what are the elements of biophilic design, and how you could take like a very particular example and actually change the building and make it look much more attractive in terms of biophilic design. So well done, Rolan.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice. Now we have to come up with some interesting stuff to do today. Let's check if we have some interesting texts left for your level. I actually have a lot of advanced texts, but not all of them are. Oh, interesting. This is an old text that I got from a psychological journal, so we can read it. Feeling poor, and then you're. Oh, can I have a demonstration, please? Now you're the boss in the house, so.
А мне куда нажать?
Ладно, давай так сделаю. Давай даже поменяемся, ты как раз как хост немножко поработаешь.
А у меня сейчас экран демонстрируется?
Нет, ты уже выключил его, но вот сейчас я тебе скину файлики. И можешь у себя прям включить, так удобнее, потому что мне надо, чтобы ты слышал. Чуть долго грузится. Ага, все, вот есть текст. И аудио сейчас тоже будет. Yes. Ты можешь, когда демонстрируешь... Да. Когда демонстрируешь экран, ты можешь выбирать между весь экран делать или только какой-то один окошко.
Да, я видел. Так. Я включаю.
Давай, я слушаю. I'm waiting for you. You're the boss here now.
А мне на текст смотреть или просто его слушать?
Пока нет, пока послушай просто, чтобы понять, насколько все понятно.
Linked to well-being and even bullying during the shift between childhood and teenage years. Belonging is particularly important for well-being and psychosocial functioning during adolescence. Blanca Pira Paisania. Young people who believe they come from poorer backgrounds than their friends are
Чуть погромче можешь сделать?
Lower self-esteem and be victims of bullying than...
Сейчас.
Примерно, чтобы я тоже следила.
А это максимум.
Ну и отлично тогда. Это Ну, главное, чтобы произношение он там нигде не исказил, но они вроде прикольно, качественно делают все.
According to a new study from psychologists at the University of Cambridge, the team also found that those who think themselves poorer and those who believe they are richer were both more likely to perpetrate bullying. Overall, feeling a sense of economic equality among your friends had the best outcomes for mental health and social behavior. While economic disadvantage on a society-wide spectrum has long been linked to mental health and social problems in young people, the new study is one of the first to show that just feeling poorer compared to those in your immediate social sphere may be related to negative psychological outcomes. According to researchers, judgments we make about ourselves via social comparison in early adolescence, how popular or attractive we think we are, compared to others, are central to our burgeoning sense of self, and perceived economic status may contribute to this development. Adolescence is an age of transitions when we use social comparisons to make self-judgments and develop our sense of self, said study lead author Blanca Pira Paisania, Cambridge Gates scholar and PhD candidate in the university's Department of Psychology. A sense of our economic position not just in wider society, but in our immediate environment might be problematic for our sense of belonging, said Pira Paisania. Belonging is part 1.
Так, там аудио, скорее всего, только первый кусок занимает.
Да.
Ну что, коротенько, там еще 2/3 осталось. Is it understandable? Can you catch the meaning by just listening?
Yes, it's like definition of you in the society, like what person you count yourself.
Consider.
Что-то про буллинг там было или что ли мне показалось?
Almost. But it's not about the objective reasons, it's more about your subjective feeling if you're poorer or richer than your peers. What's the word adolescence? Adolescence is an age of in transition when we use social comparisons to make self-judgments and develop our sense of self. What's adolescence? Well, you can have a logical determination from the text itself, because it talks about teenagers, which is childhood and teenager years, which means that adolescence, it's also like подростковый период, молодость, типа ранняя молодость. Так, ну-ка, еще раз посмотрим все значения. Adolescence. Adolescence означает в целом юность, молодость, отрочество, подростковый возраст, подростковый период. Подросток можно adolescent еще сказать. Okay, now let's open the text and try to read the whole text. So that way you can absorb more information. It'd be great if you shared it with me, so I can see your mouse and how you...
Сейчас 2 минуты. Надо отключиться. 2 минуты.
Sure, no problem. I'm back.
I'm here.
Good, good. I'm back too.
Так, что, мне камеру включить или что?
Demonstrate the screen, the text, so that way you can read it and I can follow what you're doing.
Так, демонстрация.
I think something like the first page. Feeling poorer than your friends in early adolescence is associated with worse mental health. I suppose that early adolescence, it's something like 9 years old, judging by the picture as well. They're really young. So, and from what I know from psychology, like the age of 9 is something that where a child understands that there are different social stratas. Like there are rich people and poor people, and I'm not probably poorer or richer than others. And you start comparing, and I think that's the approximate age. Okay.
Okay. How rich or poor young people think they are compared to their friendship group as linked to well-being and even bullying during the shift between childhood and teenage years. Belonging...
Shift, переключение, типа переход. Nice.
Belonging is particularly important for well-being and psychosocial, правильно,
Yes.
да?
Я молодец. Я сама такая, чё? Psychosocial functioning.
Непривычно, да. Psychosocial functioning during adolescence. Blanca Piera P. Sunier. Young people who believe they come from poorer backgrounds than their friends are more likely to have lower self-esteem and be victims of bullying than those who feel financially equal to the rest of their peer group, according to a new study from psychologists at the University of Cambridge.
England.
The
Oh,
team,
yes, it was a website of Cambridge. I remember.
uh, the team also found that those who think themselves poorer and those who believe they are richer were born more
Both or
likely
both,
to
more
per-
likely.
perpetrate bullying.
Let's Google that. Perpetrate. Распространять, что-то совершать, учинять. Commit, помнишь трудное слово? Вот это его синоним теперь. Perpetrate.
Выпендрежное какое-то слово.
Ну, а что нет? Как раз для тебя.
Overall, feeling a sense of economic equality among your friends had the best outcomes for mental health and social behavior. While economic disadvantage on a society-wide spectrum has long been linked to mental health and social problems in young people, the new study is one of the first to show that just feeling poorer compared to those in your immediate social sphere may be related to negative psychological outcomes. According to researchers' judgments we make about ourselves via social comparison in early adolescence, how popular or attractive we think we are compared to others are central to our rapidly developing sense of self, and perceived economic status may contribute to this development.
Contribute to this development.
Contribute. Adolescence is an age of transitions when we use social comparisons to make self-judgments and develop our sense of self, said study lead author Blanca P. Sunier, a Cambridge Gates scholar and PhD candidate in the university's Department of Psychology. A sense of our economic position, not just in wider society but in our immediate environment, might be problematic for our sense of belonging, said Pierre P. Sunier. Belonging is particularly important for well-being and psychosocial functioning during adolescence. Our research suggests that wealth comparisons with those around us might contribute to a sense of social and personal self-worth when we are young. The latest study published today in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry.
Yeah, psychiatry.
Was co-led by Pierre P. Sunier and Dr. Jack Andrews of the University of New South Wales, as part of a research project conducted by Cambridge psychologist Prof. Sarah Jane Blackmore. The researchers analyzed perceived economic inequality within friendship groups among 12,995 children in the UK at age 11.
Could you find like 5 additional children to make it the count clear? 13,000.
Yeah. 11-year-old who believed themselves poorer than their friends scored 6 to 8% lower for self-esteem and 11% lower in terms of well-being than those who saw themselves as economically equal to friends. Those who considered themselves less wealthy were also more likely to have internalizing difficulties, such as anxiety as well as behavioral problems,
e.g. anger issues,
and or hyperactivity.
Correct.
Yeah? Adolescents who see themselves Так, adolescents who see themselves as poorer than their friends were 17% more likely to report being bullied or picked on compared to those who feel financially the same as friend at age 11, while reported levels of um, victimization fell across the board by the time young people reached 14 years old. Those who considered themselves poorer was still 8% more likely to be victimized than those who felt economically similar to friends. Feeling both richer or poorer than peers was related to 3 to 5% higher rates of actually perpetrating bullying.
Committing bullying.
Um, it may be that feeling different in any way at a time when belonging is important increases the risk of interpersonal difficulties such as bullying, said Pierre Piesonier. Part of Pierre Piesonier's PhD research looks at the cognitive processes behind how we view ourselves. This includes how memorizing and internalizing self-judgments in our earlier years can guide how we come to think of ourselves, sometimes known as self-schema. Negative judgments about ourselves can bias us to pay attention to information that reinforces a lack of self-worth, which has implications for mental health. We see this may well include economic perceptions among some of our peer and friendship groups during adolescence, said Pierre Piesonier. The researchers used data collected as part of the Millennium Cohort Study conducted with thousands of young people born between the years 2000 and 2002. The surveys gauged.
The surveys gauged. Это типа разница, по-моему, вилка, что-то такое. Gauge. Калибровать, да, найдись. Измерять, калибровать, типа, да, тоже. Fuel gauge, датчик топлива тоже.
А surveys это что?
Surveys — опрос. Измерительный прибор, measuring device, gauge, датчик, манометр, господи, сколько значений.
The surveys gauged an array of mental states and social behaviors and included questions on perceived economic status. The majority of children felt they were as wealthy as their friends, but 4% and 8% perceived themselves as poorer or richer, respectively, than their friends. 16% said they didn't know. The MECS also gathered data on objective family income, including a measure of weekly family disposable income. Disposable — это одноразовый?
Да, то, от чего можно избавиться. То есть disposable, соответственно, то, что можно использовать.
Allowing researchers to discount the effects of actual parental wealth. Many studies suggest that objectively, young people from disadvantaged backgrounds have more mental health difficulties. Our findings show that the subjective experience of disadvantage is also relevant, added Pierre Piesonier. You do not have to be rich or poor to feel richer or poorer than your friends, and we can see this affects the mental health of young adolescents.
Yes, this is an article that I got from the website of Cambridge University. As you know, universities have these, well, scientists basically are mostly located in universities, and they get the financing and their senior students to help them. So it's really interesting what actual scientists in actual universities do. So this is one of the research papers that they had in the UK. So do you have any thoughts on this text and this idea? What do you think about the numbers that you saw? Like, are they impressive, or maybe, or what do you think is going to be the situation in Russia compared to this?
Да. I think in Russia, так, сейчас напомню. I think we have like variants when young no young children maybe jealous to other and they no like the children from poor family they have uh, no they are jealous
Mm-hmm.
and of course they want other life
Mm-hmm.
and uh, no, and they are not satisfied.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Do you think that in Russia the situation would be different, and how? What does it depend on?
Хм. В плане количества таких детей.
Yeah, and the quality of the difference, like what does it depend on? For example, one of the main thoughts that I have had when you were reading is that, for example, it depends on the society how valuable the difference in income is, like inside the society, like of each strata, I would say, like class, middle class, or poor class. So what do you think does it depend on in Russia?
I think it depends on where you are located, in what group you are inhabit. Because
You belong
if
to. Mm-hmm.
every each group has own uh, как valuables
Values, that's enlisted.
values, yes, and mm, like some group for some group it's important to develop yourself and education, but education I think is free for all children,
Mm-hmm.
and each children can to develop himself
Mm-hmm.
and yes, and other groups can be focused on another values like
Их много. Other
uh,
values.
other values like new gadgets or phones and other things. And
Mm-hmm.
in this group, children from poor family mm, will be feel uncomfortable.
Will feel
So I think
uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Be bekväm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course I think it's always will just I think always will be poor and rich people, and we can't. No, uh, I think we can't equal everybody in this world.
We can't
Uh,
equalize, уравнять, да?
Equalize,
Mm-hmm.
да, yeah. But I think we should have a different approach to children, because children, in my opinion, must be in equal level of like uh, uh, interacting among them. Like they
Mm-hmm.
should be on one level. I don't
Got
know.
it. And we come to the question of school forms, school uniforms. Do you
Mhm.
think that's one of the ways to equalize children?
Yes, maybe. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Because mm, no, yes, because children can't dress up in like luxury clothes and mm, to be.
I don't like this. And we're back. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that actually, if to consider my environment and my peers, I don't think that I had like in childhood or now some jealous people in my environment, and I don't know if it's in all Russia like that, but. I don't think that this team is, or this theme is mm, actual in our no in Caucasus, for example.
I have a feeling that it's I wouldn't agree with you. I think that there are many families, but mostly those are families that um, well, first of all, I think your family is rather good because you have a nice car, you have a nice house, not even one, right? You have like a territory where you can live, you have your yard, so that way you can afford to have a dog and all that. Uh, Probably you live in the like more of a center of the city, not the worst region, like not the worst district. More importantly, your street and your district has nice vibe, like nice atmosphere. People might be poor, but they're not aggressive. There's no like criminality that much in our district in Yuriska Kolonka. So I think that it's good that you don't feel any difference, and I think I can share your feelings because I pretty much had the same background with school, and I think our school was very good example of a healthy society. However, I have a feeling that some people, when they share their stories, I have a feeling that they have like this problem is real, because like with gadgets, not all parents can afford gadgets, right? And it's like always a different principle. From what I see, the richer people are, and the more they want to take care of their kids, the later they buy them phones, which might cause this feeling of perceived, being poor or something. I think it depends on the family, how important for them being rich is, and not even being rich, but like showing how rich you are. I think that's one of the main purposes. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not as important and as critical in our republic. Curious. So even in Britain, you've seen the differences. It's like 8 to 10, 11%. That's nothing, in my opinion, because children are so different in whatsoever, and it's gonna be. I think that's not the big difference. It could be easily explained by any other factors, in my opinion. If the numbers were like 40 or 50 or something like that percent, that would be very impressive. But so far, I think it's just very, very moderate number.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience similar to this? You probably forgot it and had like a very nice job coping with it, but maybe you can remember some moment when you realized that you can't your family cannot afford some things that other families can. Maybe have you ever had such experience?
No, I don't remember such such experiments.
Good.
Um,
Nice.
uh, I don't know. Maybe like in my environment there or no.
No, no, well,
I don't remember some day when somebody bought a new gadget and I was very jealous to him. No.
Nice.
Well, I think no.
Nice, very good, very good. It means that you have a very healthy environment, and moreover, it's not only the environment but your reaction, which is even more important. I think that the same situation may harm some kind of people and totally be fine on the other, type of people. I think it heavily depends on your personality at first, and then all the, situations. Because we've seen so many examples where one person would give up and say, oh, it's my, something that makes me unhappy, something that, steals my power, let's say. And some other people, they find strength and they never stop when they have any difficulties because that's their fuel. They know how to fight and how to survive. So it's very interesting how people make these decisions. Maybe it's not decisions, maybe it's something more. Who knows? Okay, excellent. Maybe we can switch to some other topic. Or, the time is not, there's not much time left. Anyway, so maybe I can share some words from, I've seen some vocabulary from other students that I might have used with you as well. So let me check it real quick. Okay, come on, my computer is dead. Okay, fine. Yes, maybe I can use some other groups' vocabulary that they have. Okay, лейкопластырь, как сказать?
Tape.
Tape неплохо. Есть еще Band-Aid. Это была когда-то компания, так называлась, которая производила маленькие лейкопластыри. Теперь это...
Band это же гнуться?
Да, band, но через Е будет, а тут band, ну как группа. Band-Aid. Первая помощь.
Блин.
То же самое слово включает. Помощь. Aid. Просто
Aid?
первое. Да, first aid.
First aid. А что за aid?
Aid это помощь, это еще одно слово для слова помогает, помощь. Как hungry и starve, да, синонимы. Тут то же самое. Aid. Поэтому first aid первый раз, когда я увидела, думаю, так странно, типа первая помощь, что за слово aid? Или, допустим, pain и ache, тоже есть же разница. Но вообще незначительно, это то же самое. Band-aid, first aid и дальше шпаклевка.
Mortgage.
Mortgage это ипотека.
Ой, нет, не знаю.
Так, это plaster.
Господи, точно, пластырь. У меня же текстура есть пластырь.
Конечно, видишь, теперь все сошлось. Да. Так, поехали дальше. Следующее слово гипс. Когда накладывают?
Не знаю.
Cast. Так, сейчас тебе скину все сообщения. Так, forward. Роланский. Где ты там? Where are you now? Так, вот он. Оттуда. Маленький кусочек. Так, еще давай чем поищем в этой группке. Плюк.
Пластырь это как еще штукатурка, да?
Именно штукатурка она и есть. Именно штукатурка и есть. Просто пластырь слышишь, думаешь, что это что-то с пластырем связано, оказывается, вообще нет, ни разу. Ух ты, тут файл, оказывается, есть. Что это я туплю? Так, алло, откройся. Сим-сим. Ага, давай, выйти на пенсию.
Блин. Что-то ре?
Ага, и потом уставать.
Retire.
Зачет. А если пенсия сама?
Если пенсия, retiring.
Retiring это процесс, другой предлог. Предлог это как его окончание? Retirement.
Retirement.
Retirement, отлично. Так, как сказать, можешь оказать мне услугу?
Can you? Can you?
Необычно звучит do me.
Can you do me something?
A favor, конкретное слово тоже есть. Can you do me a favor? Можешь оказать мне услугу? Так, кто здесь главный?
Who is the boss here?
Yeah, who's the boss here? Who's in charge here? Тоже можно сказать, кто in charge. Это тоже ответственный за что-то, кто отвечает. Сейчас тебе ссылочку скину на файлик. Покопаешься, может, что-нибудь тоже там полезненькое себе наберешь. Так, cancel. Сюда. Ctrl-D. Плюк. Еще раз посмотрим. Так, порезать, поранить. Ножом когда?
To cut. И какой-то предлог? Или вообще какое слово?
Ну, cut можно, но это типа сам тип пореза, а это типа ранение с повреждением поверхности кожи.
Wound?
Да,
посмотрим. Но это как рана еще, да?
Конечно, да. Просто есть injury, это травма больше, а это wound, ранение. Любое травмирование с нарушением кожи. Идем дальше. Что-нибудь там, допустим, самооценка.
Сейчас. Self что-то, да?
Да.
Self-efficient.
Это само, типа, эффективный. Self-sufficient, ты, наверное, ищешь это самодостаточный.
Сейчас. Self-esteem.
Да, self-esteem прям меняется. Отлично. Так, возьми слово, допустим, неуязвимый, непобедимый.
Блин. Что знакомое. Уязвимый, не... Как?
In.
In.
В песнях часто встречается.
Intouchable.
Это неприкосновенный.
In.
И то untouchable было. Invincible.
Вспомнил бы.
Ничего, дальше идем. Ну вот, видишь, хорошо, что много слов. Dwell. Как переводится? Dwell.
Не знаю.
Dwell — это обитать, типа оставаться, как будто вот как-то так. Dwell еще часто говорят, когда какая-то эмоция у тебя непроходящая есть. Dwell on his pain, там что-то как-то вот. Don't dwell, ну типа не застревай, не торчи там слишком долго, не живи там условно. Resident, можно еще сказать reside, типа ожидать, ну это же жить где-нибудь тоже. Вот, ну и вот это слово тоже dwell. Так, dwellings, тоже всякие синонимы от него есть. Disposable, ты уже, по-моему, сегодня вспомнил. Как еще раз?
Разовый.
Да. Либо в том тексте было то, что типа можно использовать, ну, что остается после основных расходов, имеется в виду. Так, отлично, идем дальше. Вот еще, кстати, такое выражение есть. At your disposal.
На твое усмотрение?
На твое, типа, распоряжение. At your disposal. То есть ты можешь от этого избавиться или там что-то типа применить, оставить, если захочешь. Так, отлично. И remedy, последнее давай слово. I got a poison, I got a remedy.
Remedy. Болезнь.
Наоборот. This disease doesn't have a remedy.
Восстановление.
Вау, нифига себе. Не, remedy это типа лекарство или даже антидот. Почти так. Поэтому
Ремеди, да?
Ремеду. Угу. Remedy, это песня Prodigy была, ты, наверное, уже такую группу, может, и не слышал. Remedy, I got a poison, I got a remedy, он поет постоянно. Poison это типа яд, а remedy это наоборот от него противоядие. Вот такой вокабулярий. В общем, можно оттуда что-нибудь позаимствовать, видишь, там неплохо. А хотя нет, мало что совсем. Да, 27 слов всего. Я поленилась все остальное носить. По ходу. Все тогда. На сегодня можем закруглиться. Запись останавливаю. Круто.